Hey, Hound Dogs, I'm David Hankins,
I'm Paul Hankins, and I'm Trevor Hankins.
I'm Julie Canon.
And I'm Jen Moreno.
and you're on the air with Power Squared. I'm sorry I'm wearing a mask. I'm kind of under the weather and I don't want to spread it to the two next to me.
It be fall, it be that time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm trying to get over it as quickly as possible. So this is our November 2024 team meeting, and I guess we can talk a little bit about this kind of the status of things. I know Jen turned in the first 8 pages of issue 28. They look
Yes.
really good. So, how are the next 8 pages going?
All right, now there are still scribbles and sketches right now, but I just need to like clear up some so that it makes sense to you guys, because it makes sense to me in the process, but presenting it's a different thing. So I just need to clean up some lines.
But you did a really, I just want to
Um,
say, you did a really good job with those first 8 pages.
Yeah.
Seems like you've been doing it
mhm.
all your life.
Thank
Yeah, I
you,
took a gander at them too. They look really good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
thank you.
Yeah.
Um, Line work. I've never done so much line work. Um, But it was fun to learn different things that would make the process a little quicker, especially for my own illustrations, because goddamn, it was a lot. Um, so it's sketching, penciling. It's a step that I've never done before because I would always do the sketch and then just go straight to line art and work all the little details there.
Well,
So that was something new
and
to learn.
and when we occasionally had like, could you change this? You pretty much changed it the way we wanted it. So you listened. I
Mhm.
appreciate that too.
Yeah, no worries.
Uh,
Other than that, yeah.
and Julia, you're finished with 27.
Yeah, I believe I did the editing you wanted me to do for page one, and then I put in the rest of the pages that
Yeah,
they should be
page one looks
colored.
good.
And
Yeah, I had.
yeah, and then whatever edits he needed me for that, I believe they should be in there now. So
Okay, I
I'm
had.
just working on the cover. I'm just working on like some sketches for the cover for 27, and then
Oh yeah.
I'll get to work on Jen stuff.
Okay, yeah, I had her fix a page that you had colored on the first page of 27. It's at night, and there should have been like headlights on the truck, so I just had her add that.
Okay.
So it wasn't a big deal.
Okay.
And
That's probably something I should have considered, but
well, we probably should have caught it earlier, but
hmm
It happens.
yeah, well, you'll find that we catch things like, oh my god, way late sometimes.
I think one of the funniest ones I ever saw was like I think when I first started, when like I think Marty was like doing some sort of like pose and the arm was like construed like was like in the opposite direction,
Yeah.
and I looked
Oh,
at it going, that arm doesn't look right, but sure. And I just did what I did, and then about like 2 months later, you messaged me going, "Hey, can you like Rachel gave us a thing? Can you like recolor it?" And I'm like, "Sure."
Yeah, yeah. Rachel was really good, but she wasn't perfect. You know, nobody is,
mhm.
I guess.
No.
And Trevor, how's the lettering going?
Uh, I've mostly done number 26.
Okay.
I think is what I'm
All right.
I'd like to apologize beforehand.
on. uh, I do want to finish that issue soon, but a bunch of stuff was kept coming up recently.
Okay. All right. And I guess we should. I don't know if we announced it before in another show, but we got off of Twitter as far as Power Squared goes.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
now
saw that.
yeah, we're on
we're
Blue
now
Sky,
on Blue Sky.
so feel free to follow us there if you want to.
Yeah, I got your guys' notification that you guys followed me. I just like I'm like, oh cool, everyone's moving here. Great.
Yeah.
I mean, justifiably so, but
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of it had to do with the AI stuff. We didn't really want to get
yeah.
involved in that.
Like a
hmm
lot of, I think like a few other gaming companies too are actually either moving to Blue Sky or they're also gonna be like just publishing on their own website too. So it's like it's affecting every single outlet of like creation.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Really
and
should.
I think it would be in a lot of artists. If artists are worried about people scraping their stuff or a website using their own work for for training an AI model, I think it would be their best interest to leave Twitter.
Also, just Twitter is Twitter.
Yeah.
X, I guess.
Yeah.
There's a guy I work with who does his own art, and he was telling me there's a site where you can put something on your image that AI can't pick it up or something.
Is it like were they talking about like glaze and nightshade?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's glaze.
I've been thinking about doing that to my own art, but the thing is, like, I think the nitpicky part of me is like, I would love to use Glade and Nightshade to protect my stuff, but also the artifacting is like weird.
Okay.
Like, I understand it's there for a reason, but also it's one of those things where if I post it, say if I post it on like my site for like a portfolio, that may not also look well, especially if it's for like a professional thing. So it's like a double edged sword in what you want to do with that.
Okay. Well,
I
I'll.
would think that the best option for that is to have a portfolio online. Measures for an artist is to have images reduced as small as possible, but still could see what details you need to be seen. And for things like that, probably like not have it public for the bigger images that you would want to show the employer.
Yeah,
Because
I think a lot of people also do that for their like, if not portfolio stuff, also this Patreon, because the fear is also just, I think if you do put it through those like filters, it also counters it if someone were to just like save your work and then either repost it in like into like a search engine or like into AI or something. So I think that's also what they were trying to do. Because I was looking at it because like some people were worried like, well, someone can just take a screenshot of my work and then feed it to whatever, or maybe even repost it. And then someone countered with, I think when the University of Columbia was like talking about their process of like making Glade and Nightshade, one of their thing is like also if someone were to take a screenshot of it, the artifacts would still transfer over to that screenshot, or if you were to save it or something.
Huh.
So I'm like, yeah, that could work too. Though I think it's also just the worry of like with how AI is like updating every year, like month or so. It's like it's kind of like antivirus. You guys are fighting every single month to try to fight off whatever's going on, and this is it's like you guys are stuck at a stalemate every single time. So I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's good if like it's something you should probably do, but also it's like,
Yeah.
is it worth it in the end?
The site he gave me was webglaze.cs.uchicago.edu.
Yeah, so it's glaze.
Yeah, yeah, the university, yeah, they said like you should use Glaze in this other program called Nightshade
Huh.
to like do stuff to your art to like make it so it'll like poison poison the AI and it'll make it look like it. I think I saw a moment of it one time where I was like messing with Photoshop one time for work, and like God forbid, like I played it, you know, like the AI generative thing, like you'll put like to like try to like fill in like a certain thing, kind of like when you would stamp something on Photoshop.
Yeah.
I messed it with it once to go like remove hook from like a corner of a rug, like of like a thing I was trying to take off on a photo. It turned into a cat, and I'm like, okay, I think people are starting to get really upset at this AI feature. That's actually kind of funny. And then I never used it, and then I just went back to doing what I did with
I
work.
remember seeing someone when Adobe insisted on training AI with people's cloud work. Someone left to use I think Affinity instead, but on their way out they filled their Adobe Cloud folder with Nightshade poisoned images.
Listen, I don't condone violence, however.
Yeah,
But yeah, like I messed with it once, and I'm just like, you know what? If this thing is like okay, like devil's advocate, if it's meant to help people, but then if it's like countering, people are countering to like make it not work, you probably shouldn't do it. Especially like since like Photoshop is like supposed to like bring in artists, you kind of like they shot themselves in the foot with that one.
Yeah.
Because regardless, it's like regardless if you're doing photos, imagery, or whatever, or like even just like photo bashing and stuff like that, you still got to do it yourself. Why would you want to like
Yeah.
do that entirely, like with AI?
I can vouch for Affinity because after that whole thing with Adobe, I switched to that and never looked back.
That's fair.
Well, it's also Affinity is also a one-time payment.
No, that's
like
fair.
a perpetual.
Yeah.
I think it's the word perpetual license.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's SaaS, software as service, or something like that.
Eh.
Um, you're paying for the software as a service. So you're paying for it every month.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
it's called SaaS in business.
I
So
got the game industry.
Oh.
It's GAAS. So
yeah.
I just say gas.
Fair.
Sass and gas.
so
That's probably the most, especially for artists that usually, not usually, but don't always have the means to be paying for things on a month to month basis that are not, professionals. They're just doing it for fun or from their phone or whatever, and to have paid plans that's kind of just not the greatest. Like $1 or $2, sure, but even for younger kids that don't have job or a way to get like an income, it's just not a good thing to go
Yeah.
with.
Yeah. Also, I guess going back to Adobe, it's like it's kind of unfortunate too on their end, is because I actually know a few friends who are like in like content creation like pools.
uh,
So on top of that, they kind of have no choice but to really use Adobe because it's like the one, it's the standard, especially with Premiere, and two, it's like every other person and their mother use Premiere for video editing, especially for like big group projects. So it's like half the time, if like one person won't, if like one or two people won't like move to like say Sony Vegas or Affinity or whatever, it's like it's kind of sucks. And also depending on your resume, if said person doesn't use like Premiere or Photoshop or whatever, it's just like it's even more of a hassle.
Mm-hmm.
right.
So I have like
It's
one friend that's like very adept with like After Effects, and they're trying to find like something else that will also help with their flow and their content creation, that they don't always have to rely on After Effects.
plugins.
They do that too. I don't know how they handle their workload. I'm just like, I mean, it's your head. I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think it's also just a learning curve, but that's a different story.
Okay.
It's kind of like when I went to school to learn graphic design, that I've always been an Android user, Windows user, and to have to go to a lab where it's only iMacs to
Yeah.
work on art, it's kind of like, okay, what translates into Mac? And at the
Yeah.
time, I don't think there was a way or like a guide to show like Windows terms into Mac terms, so it was kind of difficult to adapt for a while.
No, that's a skill issue. No, I'm kidding.
The only time I've ever worked on a Mac was at a work 20 something years ago when they were brand new, and they're supposed to be so easy, and somebody said, "Okay, do this whatever it was on this Mac," and I had no idea how to do anything on it. So she came back, "You haven't done anything." Well, I don't know what to do. You didn't, this is,
Listen. Yeah.
yeah,
I'm in that weird area where I was fortunate enough to like play around with both Windows and Mac, so I just kind of like stipulate. I'm in that weird area
yeah,
because like I always touch both of them like every other day, just because. Think back in my like this is like back in middle school. This is like around the time where like obviously like public schools are still trying to scrounge up the money to like teach their kids.
uh huh,
Like, well, we still do that, but I digress. So our teacher would always have to move us to different labs. Sometimes we'd have labs where they're primarily Mac. Other computer labs was mainly XP or Vista or whatever the heck we had. So like with me, we had like we had to adapt fast, going like, okay, you guys are working on like your Google Sketch. We're going to the computer lab with the XPs today. Have fun. I'm like, fair enough.
I just want to type in Word. That's all I want to do.
Why
I used to have Word Perfect a long time ago. I think that's probably long gone. Yeah,
is this so familiar?
it was around for a long
Oh.
time. It just probably the last 20 years it's died. But they used to also have a grammar thing with it that you could do your grammar too.
Like before Grammarly was a thing.
Yeah, I think it was called Grammar
Also,
Tech or something.
Mm.
But it was an add-on to it. It was a good program. It just wasn't the standard that Word is, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
hmm, there's also a lot of mention of LibreOffice as a free alternative to like Microsoft Suite products.
Uh huh.
I just never tested it out myself, so I don't know how good it is.
You just don't want to get, hey, I can't open your document or whatever.
Pretty
This
much, yeah.
the stuff that Trevor does in
Affinity.
Affinity, sorry. Uh, and I try to, if I have to resize it, Adobe doesn't recognize it, even though it's a ping. Doesn't recognize it.
Oh.
That's weird though, because like in the words of Mr. Incredible and Incredibles 2, math is math, so a
Yeah,
PNG should be a PNG.
I know, but I don't know if it knows that something else did it, and so it doesn't, let you open it.
Yeah, because it's like it's not like if you were it's not like the whole thing with like a PSD and then like PSDF, if like like when you have make like a Photoshop file with like a third party, it's like you're still able to read it on Photoshop, so it's like it should be easier with a PNG or like a TIFF or whatever the heck you
Yeah.
do.
So anyway, it's just kind of a whole sign of the times, I guess. It doesn't like
That's
it.
just weird. It's like that's funny and weird.
It is weird. I agree.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if I've tried a TIFF that was done.
Mm.
But anyway, it's just weird.
Yeah. Math is math.
Yeah, I agree.
Anything else related to Power Squared?
Well, this is all about,
Just that I'm working on a few like little layouts for the cover for issue 27. So after that, it should be a wrap for 27.
cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that was an interesting issue. I like the where we
Like we're just like he's telling a story that isn't the twins for like a minute.
yeah, sort of
Mhm.
maybe that gets launched on its own or something.
Yeah. I think for that one, it was like pretty nice to draw like Raven and kind of like in a casual setting because like sometimes gone by, obviously she's helping Billy out with his own work, so it's like obviously she has to be like a bit more casual. So it was kind of nice to draw her in a casual setting than how we saw her for the
Yes,
first time.
dressed to the nines, I guess they used to say.
Hmm.
Mhm.
All right. So is that it?
Seems like it.
Okay.
So if you're watching this on YouTube later and you like this, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. And leave a comment below if you have any opinions on switching from Adobe to Affinity.
All right.
Also, if you're looking for a silent fidget toy, use our affiliate code Marty and Eli to save 10% on your purchase on onoroller.com.
All right. So until next time, I'm David Hankins.
I'm Paul Hankins. I'm Trevor Hankins.
I'm Julie Cannon.
And I'm Jen Moreno.
And you've been on the air with Power Squared.
Bye.
Follow us on Blue Sky.